I want to start by asking a pretty simple question. Who here looked in the mirror before leaving the house today? Well, I can assure you that every single one of you did, even if it was just a small glance. We all check ourselves, often focusing on that single hair out of place, or that pimple that is starting to grow. But why do we do this? We live in a world where people care a lot about beauty standards and perfection. It's really easy to believe that people are judging our appearance and looking at our flaws. But what if I told you that the harshest critics out there are often ourselves? What if the real setback isn't how other people see us, but how we see ourselves? When I was 15, my parents took me to an orthopedic specialist because I was struggling to breathe through my nose. After many pictures and x-rays, the diagnosis was retrognathia, also known as a receding chin, a condition where my lower chin jaw would be positioned more inwards than normal. In my case, I struggled with sleep apnea, which meant that I could sleep for hours, but never be fully well rested. I had difficulty closing my mouth during resting positions because not enough air would go through my nose. I had pain while chewing, and my family told me that I snored. But all of this could be fixed with one surgery. This decision would be a leap of faith. I had to trust that the outcome would be better than my current reality. I had no clear picture or understanding of what my face would look like afterwards, only to trust that the outcome would be better. The uncertainty was really stressful. So it made me think even deeper. Was I doing this for myself? Or was I trying to meet someone else's expectation of perfection? 10 months. I had 10 months to make up my mind. 10 months to decide whether I was going to change my appearance for a healthier life or live with the struggles, because I was too scared to look different. During those months, I tried to live my life as normal as possible. But my mind kept wandering to how my life could be different if I had the surgery, like breathing easier, or having a normal amount of sleep and feeling well rested. Yet, despite this, I was still hesitant. What would people think? Would people judge me for changing my appearance? As I debated between my fears and a healthier life, I started to realize that I couldn't base my life choices off of others. I had to choose a better life for myself. My family were my greatest supporters. They understood my point of view and showed me different perspectives. They encouraged me to do what I wanted to do and not be concerned about what other people might think. So, in April 2023, while I was 16 years old, I made one of the hardest decisions of my life. I was gonna get chin surgery. It was a long and challenging process, filled with anticipation and uncertainty. This was really stressful. As the surgery date approached, I found myself reflecting on the unknown that was ahead of me. The preparation phase was crucial. But the real challenge and test of resilience and self-acceptance would come after the surgery, because my life was going to change, both physically and mentally. And yes, the real challenge did come after the surgery. I had to adjust to my new face, my new me. Have you ever had to do that? The surgery was pretty intense. The surgeon made around 5 cuts on my jaw. In total, I had around 9 titanium pieces on my chin. I was in my hospital bed when it really hit me. I had undergone a massive change. I was swollen due to inflammation. I couldn't recognize myself. I got scared, worried, horrified. Would my friends recognize me? Would I still be the same person as I was before? I couldn't recognize myself. How would my friends not see someone else too? But the thing that scared me the most wasn't how my features changed, but how my mouth moved like a robot. My muscles had forgotten how to move after the surgery. This meant that I couldn't move like my past self, so I had to go to a physiotherapist so that my muscles could remember how to move like my past self. But even after therapy, I struggled a lot. Every time we went outside, I would try to hide myself, avoid people. I would hide the tape of my chin with my hair. I couldn't face people, not even my own relatives. But the thing that impacted me the most was how I lost my smile. I've always loved my smile. I always got nice comments about how I was always smiling. But because my muscles had forgotten how to move, I had forgotten how my old smile looked or felt like. But when I went back to school, something remarkable happened. I started to notice that even though I might not look like myself from the outside, I was still the same person on the inside. Yes, my friends recognized the difference, but instead of treating me like a stranger, they showed genuine interest and asked questions. This made me realize that I was inside my head too much. I was the one judging myself the most. It wasn't others, it was me. This experience with chin surgery has taught me that our greatest setbacks are often ourselves. We are so focused and worried about what ifs, wondering what other people might think, when in reality, most people are too focused in their own lives to notice or even care about our imperfections. So what if we could shift this perspective? What if instead of worrying about the outcome, we focus on embracing who we are? My experience has taught me that what's on the inside is what really matters. I was so worried about not being myself, about looking different, about not being recognized, when in reality, my friends and family showed me that I was still the same person. I was still Valeria, with the same smile. So let's challenge ourselves to look in the mirror with kindness, with a big shiny smile, to look at our strengths rather than our weaknesses, and to remember that what really matters is on the inside, with the only approval we truly need being our own. Thank you.